Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc., the channel all about bringing you as much nerdy content as possible. So, I'm having to do this again. This is take two. My first one was like a candid, just go into this blind. Unfortunately, my brand new camera that I just got, the battery died on it naturally. So, having to hit this again with the back to the webcam. So, this dragon is interesting. But just looking at it right off the bat, we've never, at least to my knowledge, we've never seen anything like this. At least nothing that's ever been meta relevant or even remotely good for me to have bothered taking notice of his existence. But if you know what I'm talking about, it's pretty obvious. You can see just looking at this as it is now what it is. Let's get into this. Okay, so immediately we're jumping in here. We have a support type that is a 3 mana cost drag skill. Just a 3 mana cost drag skill. Are you kidding me? On a support type? Never have I ever seen anything like this. Not even healers, tanks, nothing. Only DPS have I ever seen a 3 mana cost drag skill. So already this dragon better blow my mind because yikes, that's not good. And then so we got the water one as well, and we got a dark one. Overall, like the design, it looks very, very simple, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of thought in like changing it. Usually each element is fairly unique. I mean, take like the Xenos for example. You know, the light type, the water type has all like the crustacean stuff on it, you know. Each element feels like its own, but this, like, it is literally just a palette swap. I mean, they don't even change the stars out on this, so I don't know. I'm not exactly sold on this design. I think it's very, very simple. Kind of a letdown of a dragon, honestly. But let's go ahead and jump in here. Let's look at these skills, right? Alright, so we got our drag skill here, and it's every 32 seconds, only a target count of 2, and a straight line. So you're almost never going to be able to hit the ones in the back unless they're doing the X formation, and then you either get the top right or the bottom right. You know, it could happen. You'll never hit both, that sort of thing. If they do the T formation, right, you'll never, ever hit the back one. So, yeah. And for a 3 mana cost, and you only let me hit 2? Come on. Alright, so shoots moonlight arrows at enemies and decreases cooldown by 70% for 10 seconds for one ally whose drag skill is that. Wow, that's a weird way to word that. For one ally's drag skills that cost 3 mana, right? I think this MP terminology is also new and different. So I don't know. Someone new is in charge over there, and I don't think they understand how this game works. So yeah, that's crazy. Reduce cooldowns by 70%, right? I mean, Bagma, eat your heart out over here. But so it's only going to apply to 3 mana cost drag skills. Attackers, basically. Well, you're only going to ever be able to apply this to an attacker, unless it applies it to itself, and then in which case this is terrible. But decreased by 70%. That's huge, though. But the thing is, though, right? So you have to use that 3 mana cost attacker, right? Use their drag skill, use up 3 mana, and then you got to wait and build up again, and then you got to use 3 mana to activate this skill. And then you go back down to 0, right? And then you got to build all the way back up to 3 mana again before you can activate that one that you reduce the cooldown for. So are you even in that 10 seconds going to be able to get all the way back up to 3 mana again? You know, it's just, it feels too impractical to me, honestly. 70% is a crazy, like, cooldown reduction. But in that amount of time, are you even going to be able to, like, trigger that? Or do you have to go until you're, like, at 4 or 5 mana and then drop this? You know, like, go above how much mana you need and then drop this. It's just, that's 9 mana, right? 9 mana to essentially get 2 very close attacks off with the 3 mana cost attacker. Oh, that's brutal. I am not a fan. I just think that's way too much mana. You just don't have enough mana regeneration. Unless this dragon has some crazy mana regeneration abilities, this does not look good to me. Alright, jumping in here, look at the next one. Same thing, same thing. All 3 elements are the same. Alright, so let's jump over here to the drag skill, like, addition. So same stuff here. Moonlight arrows stun targets for 3 seconds. 3 seconds is not a long time in this game. I mean, a stun is nice, but you're only going to hit 2. So, I mean, that's not even like that crazy of a stun. You got stuff like, is it, I believe, Gaian, or it's the other tank. But it's like, they can, stun or silence way more targets. And I don't know, this stun, again, and I think they do it a lot longer than 3 seconds. And then the dark type does silence for 5 seconds. I would take the silence for 5 seconds over the stun for 3 seconds. At least 5 seconds, you're out of the fight for a good bit. Yeah, you're basic attacking, but your basic attack is not that big of a threat. I'd much rather have the whole thing silenced, passives, everything for 5 seconds. I need all the time I can get, essentially. Okay, so still has not sold me yet. Let's jump over here into the first actual passive here, which this is going to trigger every 10 seconds. Only a target count of 2, which also, not the best. But periodically it casts damage reflection on allies for 10 seconds. So this will always be up. When you have it at max skills, this will trigger every 10 seconds, and it'll last for 10 seconds. And gain 1 mana, which is kind of cool. So every 10 seconds you gain 1 mana. That's not enough to warrant 9 mana worth of drag skills, though. This skill targets attack type allies first. That's pretty cool. You're almost like putting like a permanent barrier, kind of in a way, onto your attacker, which is pretty cool. Definitely can't complain there. My only issue is the attackers are in the back. They're not getting attacked that much unless they're getting hit with like a big old drag skill. They're not taking all these basic attacks, and whatnot. So I feel like I'd really much rather have it on like a defense type, or maybe it's be like attack and defense types are priority, right? So then it really synergizes with those single attack teams and the single tank teams. That would be really cool. I would love that. You got a target count of 2. Why not make that happen? Or a healer, right? A healer that's like a tank-based healer, so they're on the front lines. They're getting hit a lot. That would have been way cooler. And it's the same for all these guys. It doesn't change. So, I mean, it's cool. We're protecting our attacker, but how often are we realistically protecting our attacker? And then the other one, it's going to go on one other person, but it's going to be completely random. So it's like a 50-50 on if it's the front 2 or your middle or your other back. So, assuming you're using X formation again. So I'm not sold. I mean, it's cool. Damage reflection not on a rune is pretty neat. It's like when Tropheus came in and we had like a built-in survival rune for anyone, right? That was so cool. So that's kind of what this feels like, is they're giving us some, like, the damage reflection kind of stuff here in a dragon. But again, the prioritization, I'm not really a fan of. The next passive here, if an ally uses a 3 mana cost drag skill, attacks the enemy with the lowest HP with a 70% chance of decreasing its healing amounts for 10 seconds. And then we can activation chance increase by 30%, so we'll put it up to 100% of putting on the... essentially, it's a healing debuff. Chance of decreasing its healing amounts for 10 seconds. That's a really long, drawn-out way to say we're putting a healing debuff for 10 seconds, and you can trigger this every 10 seconds. Target count of 2. I would imagine this triggers when he uses his own drag skill, right? So that's... Ugh. And again, you got that 10-second cooldown, so it kind of comes back to what we were saying earlier, where you use the 3 mana cost attacker. Then you got to wait and build up 3 mana. And then you use that. And then you got to wait again to build up 3 mana to use your attacker. But you have to build up that 3 mana in the 10 seconds, right? Because the cooldown reduction only lasts for 10 seconds. And then it goes back up to whatever it was before. So, in theory, you're not even going to be able to trigger this drag skill as often as you realistically could, right? Because if you waited the 10 seconds... the drag skill cooldown goes back up. So that should be shorter, honestly. Like, put it at 7 seconds or 8 seconds, something like that. So that way, at least you could get that benefit of using this massive, absurd amount of mana just to get 2 attacks off. It's just essentially that's what I'm seeing here is I'm spending 9 mana to attack twice, relatively close together, and it just I don't know. I think there's way more efficient ways to build a team than this nonsense. If you want to use a 3 mana cost attacker that bad, use like one of the Bagmas, right, that benefit with 3 mana cost attackers, or use a Loris. Either of those I think would be way better than this crazy nonsense. Both of them have good mana refilling abilities, way better than this, that single 1 mana. Yeah, no, not even close to how much mana those other 2 can put out. Yeah, no, not feeling this. And then we'll look at the others, and they're completely the same as well. So again, not a whole lot of just differences here. Literally, the only thing is that silence right there. Yeah. The silence on the dark type on that very last skill is the only difference between all these different elements. You want to talk about a lazy dragon? I swear, this better just be filler to get people to waste their diamonds on and then drop something phenomenal right after this, because this is a pass. Okay, I'll leave it at that. I won't say any choice words I have for it. This is just a pass for me. Not even worth picking up one and letting it sit in my box for the next year. This is just an absurd, no one's going to build a team like this. If I did this, I would never be able to get my healer. I'd never use my healer. I could never use, my Lightning God Dragon that puts attack and defense down debuffs on the whole enemy team. All 5 of them. Oh, I'm going to get, and this is assuming I'm not going to get to dark. Going off the earth, because that's in the rate up. I'm going to get a stun for 3 seconds on 2 enemies. Wow. Okay. And a cooldown of 32 seconds on this skill at that. It's such an impractical dragon. Nope, not happening. That's just that. These are my thoughts on it. If you disagree and you have some fire idea of what to do with this dragon, please put it in the comments below, because I would love to know what it is, because I don't see it. All right, and if someone else likes this dragon a lot, maybe they're interested and they would like to know as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoy this type of content, I try to put it out as much as possible, so definitely subscribe. Also, if you really enjoyed the content, check out my Patreon. I have a link in the description below for it. You can get access to my Discord server, as well as if you're a Dragon Village M fan, account takeovers where I help you out with your account. If you're a Digimon fan, I've got monthly giveaway. Well, not even giveaways. I've got monthly merch that's specific to Patreon. Stuff like memory counters, custom made. This is the baby form of Vmon here. There's gonna be more in the works also, so lots of memory counters, all kinds of awesome Digimon merch. So definitely check out that tier, and if you're just all out crazy, there's other tiers if you're that dedicated. As well as check out my Teespring. I've got awesome merch there, official Battle Ready Ink merch. Awesome phone cases for you Digimon fans out there. They've got them for iPhones as well as Samsungs. So they are super sweet. If you've seen the last Digimon movie, that's where these are from. I had a friend of mine custom make these so that way they fit perfectly on these phone cases. They look super good. So definitely check those out. But at the end of the day, if you can't do any of that, just like I said, like the video. That helps a ton. And subscribe. It doesn't hurt, but it helps me. So that's what's the real benefit. And as always, I'll see you next time.